Okay, folks, I think it was April 13, 1970 when we first heard Houston, we have a problem. Well, now it's not Houston who has a problem, it's Montreal who has a big problem. Now, in Montreal, people are slamming on the brakes when they jump on a highway. And I drive a tractor trailer right now, and I plan to talk about a lot of things that's going on the road in Montreal. Now I'm not a good communicator, so I'm gonna try to do this the best I can. So the yielding sign, céder le passage, that was adopted. I think it was a police officer who came up with that in the 50s, and it was adopted in the 60s. Well, this was good when there was no traffic, okay? But now people, they don't know how to get on, how to jump on a highway. I don't know how you say that, get on the highway. And I think that the government, I don't know how it is in the USA or anywhere else, but here in Quebec, I think that the government has to take off all yielding sign, and they got to re-educate the people. Now in Montreal, no. Well, I mean, this is the way I see it. When I took my driver's license, well, not driver's license, I mean, when I went to take driving lessons, I think I was 16, and the guy brought me on Metropolitan Highway, and he said, put the pedal to the floor. And that's what I did, and I think that's the proper method to get on the highway, not to slam on the brakes, not to slow down. Because if you slow down, what you're doing is the guy that's coming in the right lane, he has to slam on the brakes too. So everybody's slamming on the brakes, and many people also will get out of the right lane and then jump on the other lane, the center one, and so they're going to slam the brakes, and then the left lane, everybody's just slamming on the brakes. So I think the proper way to get on a highway is to speed up, and try as best as possible to reach a proper speed. But some places you have a long distance to do that, but others you don't have. Like close to where I live, the distance is not that long to speed up, right? And it's a curve. So as soon as you come out of the curve, you're already in the traffic, so it doesn't give you much space. But what's important also is that I think that Montreal is, I don't know if every city is jammed like Montreal, but Montreal has a serious problem. Now, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I was working for a company, and they delivered to the dépanneur, convenience store, like a 7-Eleven. And they sent me in Ottawa to replace a guy. So, I went there for 2 weeks. And it was like a totally different world, the way the people drove there in Ontario compared to Montreal. So they do things a little bit different, and, they're, I don't know if it's the more conscious about the way they drive or what. But when I was young, I had a Duster with a 6-cylinder, and the maximum speed was 110 miles an hour, not kilometers an hour. It was miles an hour. And when I was on the highway, people would just go, pass by me like at 130, 140. And the people were such maniacs here in Quebec. Like, why do you think that Gilles Villeneuve was such a good race car driver? Because everybody was a Gilles Villeneuve in Quebec. People were maniacs here. And okay, like, they were not as good as Gilles Villeneuve, but maybe like 20 seconds less fast. My uncle lived in Moncton, New Brunswick, and he was a big guy. He was even the bouncer of the Junction disco over there, which was, I think it was, my memory serves me right, I think it was in Champlain Mall in Moncton. So he was a big guy, a strong guy, and he was not, like he was not a coward. And he came to visit us a couple of times in Montreal, and he said, "I'm scared to drive in Montreal. People, they're crazy, or they go too fast." So we went from people driving like Gilles Villeneuve to now people slamming on the brakes on the highway. So like I said, Ontario is a little bit better, but still, what I notice about drivers is that I think that the main issue here is that when people drive, they're just driving, right? Like they're the only ones on the road. They go from point A to point B in their head. That's all that exists. It's them. But it doesn't work like that. Everybody's on the road, right? Everybody's going someplace. Everybody has something to do. And I'll give you an example of a big problem here in Montreal is that people they don't leave any distance between cars, and so this is jamming all the traffic. People cannot move. Like let's say I'm I'm leaving from close to where I live right now, and I jump on Highway 40 and I want to go take the tunnel to go to Longueuil. So with a tractor trailer, you cannot be in the left lane. You're not allowed to do that. Okay. So I'm in the center lane and I put my flasher to go take the tunnel. Now nobody is going to let me go change lane because they don't do that in Montreal. People, they don't want you to change lane. They slam on, they push the pedal to the floor so that you can't change lane. And what that does is that the trailer driver is going to have to force, it's going to have to force himself into the lane. And that again is going to jam all the traffic. So we're all on the road and people have places to go. So people have to leave distance in between cars. And when somebody puts his flasher, you have to slow down a little bit. You have to adjust, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Well, you have to be like water when you're driving a car too. So coming back to jumping on the highway. Okay, it's good you have to accelerate, you have to speed up, that's for sure. But the guy that's in the right lane, he also has to adjust his speed. I know this is a new concept because the person in the right lane, if they're at 100 on the cruise control, they don't want to go down. But if they don't, it's still gonna do that. The person who's getting on the highway, he's gonna get into you anyway, and you're gonna have to slam on the brakes again. So again, if you slam on the brakes in the right lane, the center lane and the left lane, everybody's jamming the brakes and everything is blocked. And another thing that's a big problem in Montreal here is right now the tunnel de Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine is into construction, and it's taking like 1 hour to go across the tunnel, and it should not take that much time. The reason for this is that again, the people are like, it goes from 2 lane to 1 lane, right? And the people, they don't want to keep the distance. They don't want to let people pass. So the guy, he needs to pass. He needs to go to go into the tunnel. So he's gonna smash into you at one time or another. And again, the traffic is not flowing. So the people have to leave a great distance between the cars so that everybody can move in like this, And I made that experience, Sometimes I go to take the tunnel because that's my route that I've been doing. I've been doing the same route for 4 years. So I do make experiments. I let the people pass and I see the difference in between what's in front of me and when I give people distance, how fast it's going compared to like what it was 15 minutes before everybody was jammed. So I plan to make a lot of videos about the problems on the road here in Montreal. Like I said, in Ontario, it's a little bit better, and I'm not the only one who's saying that. A lot of people are saying that. But you're not alone. You're not alone on the road. you know, people have to go from the center lane and let's say on Metropolitan Highway again, right? You're in the center lane and you want to get out at Saint Michel Boulevard. Well, you don't have much distance to do that. If people don't let you pass, you're gonna have a serious problem getting out at Boulevard Saint Michel. You might end up like 3 kilometers further there. Okay, so that's it for now, guys.